Greetings to all. Enjoy watching, subscribe to the channel and put likes.
Richard, a young man who craves adventure and danger, ventures to Bangkok, where he meets a strange man. He enthuses Richard about a hidden paradise in the area and leaves him with a map. Wanting to experience something new, Richard journeys with his newfound companions, Etienne and Francoise, searching for the perfect beach. Richard finally arrives in Bangkok and is challenged to drink snake blood. Though he refuses at first, his curiosity and pride get the better of him, so he follows the stranger and chugs the exotic drink. Afterward, he leaves without looking back and checks into a cheap hotel. After showering in the communal bathroom, he sees tourists watching a movie, the same activity they do at the comfort of their own home, in which he doesn't see the point of. Then, he heads back to his room but is unable to open his door until a beautiful woman, Francoise, assists him. Unfortunately, she already has a boyfriend, Etienne, which disappoints him. Late that night, a strange man who calls himself Daffy Duck comes shouting in the middle of the night. He happens to be the guy in the next room to Richard, and he tears the screen divider to ask the young man if he has some smoke. They talk to each other, and Daffy narrates a story about his secret adventure on an island where a perfect beach can be found. He says that only people with ideals come to that island, but one day, he asked his friends to leave, but they wouldn't. Daffy shakes his hands and expresses his pleasure in meeting Richard. Then, they call it a night. The following day, Richard returns to the hotel after his exploration, and he sees the cleaning lady mopping the wall near the light bulb. He warns the woman since she might be electrocuted, but she confidently says there's nothing to worry about. Then, she informs Richard that there's a letter on his door. He opens it and sees a map of the island's location. He smiles in anticipation and turns to the cleaning lady, but she's nowhere to be found. Therefore, he goes to Daffy's room to ask him, but once he opens the door, he sees the room covered in blood. He enters and sees Daffy's body lying on the floor on the other side of the bed, with the knife he used to end his life and a couple of strange drawings. A doodle of Daffy with an X mark, a drawing of a man, and a sketch of a bonfire. Afterward, the police investigate the scene and ask Richard for the details, but they become frustrated when they discover that the man used a fake name and documents, so they close the case. Then, Richard returns to his room, and after deliberation about whether to follow the map, he invites Etienne and Francoise. This becomes his best decision since Etienne manages the travel bookings. Before reaching their destination, they stop by a tourist spot. Richard admiringly stares at Francoise until Etienne interrupts, informing him of a problem. They can't land at Koh Samui, the island near their destination, as it's part of the national park, and it's forbidden to go there. Therefore, the couple suggests swimming from the nearest island to their target location. Moments later, Richard meets two American surfers, Sammy and Zeph, who offer him shelter from the monsoon since he lost his room key. The men share some drinks and talk about random things until the surfers mention the rumors of a perfect beach located on an unknown island. The following morning, Richard leaves them a copy of the map before resuming his journey with his companions. At the same time, his infatuation with Francoise increases. Finally, they land on the island closest to Koh Samui where they spend the night. The next day, the trio gaze at their destination, intimidated by the distance they'll have to swim. Despite this, the determined adventurer swims, followed by the couple. As they stop halfway, Etienne anxiously informs Richard that he's seen a shark fin, which causes them to panic. Suddenly, Francoise is gone, and only her floater remains. Richard feels a pull on his leg, and the woman emerges as the couple laughs hysterically at the victim of their practical joke. They all resume swimming and finally arrive on the island, where they see a vast unauthorized plantation. The couple explores the area enthusiastically, but Richard spots a monkey. When he approaches it, he finds it attached to a sleeping Thai man armed with a rifle. The monkey screeches and the man awakens. Fortunately, Richard manages to notify his companions, and they all nervously take cover in the plants while waiting for the man to leave. Just as a monkey spots them and is about to alert its owner, Richard sprays it with water so it leaves. Immediately, they run away and reach a waterfall. Francoise suggests jumping, but the men harshly brush her off and blame each other, escalating the confrontation. With this, Francoise jumps without warning and emerges on the water, saying it's safe. Seeing the courage of the woman, the men also jump. Then, Kitty, an inhabitant of the secret community, congratulates them for reaching the place, but he informs them that they need to meet Sal, the leader, and escorts them home. When they enter the vicinity, the group sees an entire community of travelers who have already established their little civilization, and Richard feels the hostility brewing underneath. The travelers gather, and Richard gives the map to Sal while narrating Daffy's demise. The leader explains that Daffy is a founder of their community, but he got depressed and left. Then, she asks if they gave anyone a copy of the map, and they all say no. Sal burns the map and emphasizes that they all value secrecy. Everyone cheers, and they go to the beach, marveling at its beauty. Days go by, and the three settle more in their new community. The people are generally welcoming and friendly, and the place fosters freedom for all. Sal also explains to them that they trade the unauthorized plant to buy things they need from the city, but they grow their own because of an agreement with the Thai farmers. She adds that their neighbors insist on not bringing new people, and they comply with that, making the three very lucky to be accepted. They learn how to fish from the Swedes, Christo, Sten, and Carl. Afterward, they ensure to bring the catch to Unhygienics, their chef, who is obsessed with soap. In the community, their ritual is for the last person to arrive to tattoo the next, which the newcomers do. One day, Kitty talks to Richard since he noticed the man's infatuation towards Francoise, listing how incompatible he is with the woman. Suddenly, a man named Gregorio wishes to return to the mainland due to a severe toothache, but the men stop him. Bugs, Sal's boyfriend, pulls Gregorio's tooth with pliers while laughing at him. Sal asks Richard how he feels about the scene, and the man says he understands since they have a secret to keep. That night, Etienne and the men party while Richard sits on the side. Francoise calls him, and they walk by the beach. The woman uses this opportunity to confess that she's purposely ignoring Richard because she likes him, and it's wrong because she has a boyfriend. Then, Francoise urges him to see the glowing planktons and the shrimps, but as they dive into the water, their feelings take over, and they share a passionate night. They promise each other that this will be their